Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're going to head into game number 2. Axel, I'm so excited for this because it's actually Evil Genius's Idra up against Rain's Axlav. Sweet,
What?
merciful crap. Sweet.
Rain? Wait, Rain Axeltoss?
Rain Axlav.
Uh-oh.
I know, just a couple months ago, or even less than that maybe, we heard that Axlav left Team Evil Geniuses.
We did.
And it was kind of surprising. Of course, Axlav, I guess, just was not showing the results that he needed to be to contend for the Evil Genius position.
Mm-hmm.
And he did get replaced by JYP, who is another fantastic Protoss. But
He's okay.
you know, this is gonna be interesting because I do believe you know this as well. This is not the first time they've met each other in a tournament.
No, it's not. You know, actually, when I first started casting, I casted the Verizon SC2 Open, and all the EG guys went. And Idra and Axlav hit each other twice. Once in the winner's bracket, once in the loser's bracket. Or once in the winner's bracket, and then someone lost, and then they met in the championship finals, I think, or something like that. But these guys definitely have a lot of history playing together. And I actually remember those games a little bit. It was way back in the day, so the metagame may have been shifted a little bit. Axlav loved his Stargate play against Zerg. And one of those games was on this map. And Idra ended up doing some Hydralist stuff on 2 bases. I don't know how I remember this, but you can take my word for it. It involved Nidus for sure, and Hydras. Hydra pretty much went Hydra every single game. But again, the metagame has definitely shifted since then, so we'll see what happens.
You know, Stargate play obviously still very viable, especially on a map like Tal'Darim
Yes.
Altar. We see that a ton of times, just because it's such a big map. Getting out those Phoenixes, the Void Rays. I mean, the Void Rays are just in the beginning, but you know the utility of the Phoenixes are great all game long. It empowers drop play, especially with today's metagame. It's really, really good to be going drop play. It just has been favoring Protoss so much. Hero, I guess, and White Raw have been the 2 Protoss players,
Yes.
I think, that have really innovated that particular style, and I'm sure to see that, I think, today from Axlav, as he has definitely been a person that keeps up with the current metagame. But as we have it right now, Idra does go for the hatch first, whereas we have Axlav that went Forge, Nexus, and then now Gateway.
Yeah, pretty standard play from both these players thus far. Not too surprising. Probably gonna add on there is the gas from Axlav, getting that down in due time. Also a gas down from Idra. Has he mined from it yet? No, he hasn't. We'll have to keep an eye on that. There we go, just not putting drones in gas there. So gonna be saving up for that 100 gas and getting that metabolic boost to speed upgrade. The question is, does he keep guys in gas and go for some sort of cheesy play? You know, not out of the realm of possibility, considering this is Idra and he is playing a Protoss. So we have seen him do some 2-base shenaniganry in the past, not feeling confident in the Zerg late game versus Protoss. But that being said, I mean, we'll see what happens, man. 2 queens coming out. Nexus just now finishing for Axlav, so turning into a pretty macro standard game as of right now.
There is a little bit of suspicious activity going on in the bottom right-hand corner. Axlav does have a probe down there, and one important note is Idra actually saw it with the Overlord, so I like what Idra is actually doing with these 2 Zerglings. This might just be a scouting probe, though, because a lot of times you just always have a probe out on the map, making sure that you have some form of eyes. That way you can see maybe fast third timing, something crazy like that. But we'll definitely keep an eye on that. For now, things are looking super standard, and Samurai Score is about to finish. Are we going to see a Stargate? We have 150 gas. Nope.
Looks like he's going to get Warp Gate really quick. We'll have to keep an eye on the Forge as well. A lot of Protoss players are getting the +1 upgrade really fast, chrono boosting the heck out of it, and then going in with a pretty strong Gateway push. But it looks like the Zergling from Idra will scout out this probe from Axlav, so that probe is going to feel very sad right now, and he's probably going to die. Actually going to run out of here. And look at that. There is a Stargate from Axlav, so you called it there, Gretorp.
There's that Stargate. We love Stargates, man. I mean, of course, on Tal'Darim Altar, it's pretty good. Now, let's talk about the positions really quick. We are in close positions. It will favor Protoss pushes quite well, especially 2-base timings. Anything from Blinkstalker to Colossus, things like that, to really take advantage. The fact that this extractor and the mineral line is exposed to this bottom ground area, so a lot of times Zergs will know this and they have to hard counter. It makes it very hard because really Axlav doesn't even have to do that, right? He doesn't even have to do that type of push, but Idra still has to defend something like that because it is very scary. What Idra is thinking, though, because it is such a big map, I would assume that he wants to go to something like Muta. However, Idra, I haven't really seen him do too much Muta in his style of play.
I think he might do it here. I mean, getting 4 early gases, the layer's early too, but Axeltoss sees it all. He has a Zealot in his opponent's base, sees the layer, trying to take out a drone. Is he going to get it? No, it doesn't look like he is. But yeah, man, Zealot definitely paid for itself. I think he saw the gases at the natural too. But yeah, the Spire is now complete. Void Ray on the way, or not complete, on the way, I should say, outside of the natural expansion of Idra. So Idra going for really fast mutas here, and mutas are a headache on this map if you're a Protoss player. Especially like when you're trying to take a third as a Protoss, obviously you want to take the one where the rocks are. But the tricky thing with that is, if the mutas harass that, it's so close to get to the main mineral line. The mutas can just go back and forth there, whereas as a Protoss player, there's no low ground there or anything, so you can't like blink through. You have to go all the way around with your Stalkers. And it's tremendously annoying. But right now, Axeltoss getting some Phoenixes out, so I think he knows about the Spire play. I'm pretty darn sure he knows.
Yeah, he has to assume it's something like this. It could be Hydras at this point, but normally Hydras will come out a lot earlier. I do want to be a little bit critical on Idra right now, because that Spire placement is just, oh god, it's beautiful for Protoss. Look at that, it can range out very easily. All he needs are a couple of Phoenixes over there to help him out. He can just delay the Queens from actually attacking that particular Void Ray and just snipe down that Spire, man.
Yeah, and you know, Axeltoss is just going to continue chrono boosting out those Phoenixes as fast as he can. He's going to keep an eye on the Mutalist count should those happen. But look at this, 3 Corruptors in production from Idra. A decent decision considering his opponent. He knows his opponent is already on Stargate tech and knows he's likely to go for a lot of Phoenixes. But we'll have to see where he goes from here. I don't think he's going to just stick on Corruptors. You know, is he going to transition into a more Roach heavy play, or will it be something else altogether?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think he is going to transition, seeing that 1-1 is being researched for his Zerglings. So he will have that that very, very heavy ground. The initial Spire, I think, is just to play a little mind games. I think because he was scouted out, he was not going to stick with that. Of course, he also scouted out the Spire, so he's saying to himself, okay, well, going mass muta at this point is suicide, because my opponent can easily just keep chrono boosting out those Phoenixes and at the same time put down another Stargate or get a crazy number of gateway units. So all these are deterring him just that much.
Yeah, Corruptor's coming forward, going to try to engage those Phoenixes. The Phoenix is going to get out of there, want nothing to do with that. Of course, that's probably the worst fight you can volunteer to do, unless it's like a Probe versus an Archon or something. But as of right now, Axeltoss taking down the rocks towards his natural third, warping in some Stalkers there. I don't think that's the best decision, considering there are Lings already here, so those Stalkers are going to die quite quickly. Force Field's trying to save the lives of the Stalkers, but that's not going to work. You know, Idra looks like he's going to try his hardest to prevent this third from going down.
Do have a little bit of Phoenix play on the right-hand side, just clearing out any Overlords that they possibly can. But for now, I think, you know, both these players are just going to stabilize a little bit. They're trying to get their thirds right now. Of course, Axeltoss trying to fend off this one little Zergling harass. There are additional Zerglings getting over here. 1-1 has just completed, or at least now it has. And this will obviously empower these units right here. And the Sentries will have a much, much tougher time actually dealing with this.
Yeah, these Sentries are all going to die, and this is not a good thing at all for Axeltoss. You never want to lose your Sentry at this point in the game. Warping in 3 more Sentries. The cannons need to finish. Oh, don't throw those Sentries away. It looks like he's going to lose all of them. Oh my gosh, Axeltoss with not the best decision making here, losing some probes in the process as well. Desperately wants to get this third under his wraps. But at the same time, Phoenix is doing some harassment at the third base of Idra, trying to do as much damage as they can, trying to kill some Overlords as well. And Idra's going to be supply blocked here, so that's definitely going to be a hinder to his macro, at least as of right now.
Yep, and look at this. The Queen actually goes down in the main, and all these drones are just food at this point. He's lifting off every single one of these drones, and they're getting absolutely mutilated. In the meantime, there is a Zergling run by in the natural, and it looks like these Zerglings are tearing apart this particular base. That's targeting down this one pylon. That's a very critical pylon.
Dare I say?
Ouch.
No, I won't go there.
Don't do it.
I won't.
Don't do it.
I won't.
He'll hate you forever.
He will.
He already hates me.
Aw.
No, he doesn't.
I love you, Gretorp.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
But the Phoenix is obviously doing so much damage. So let's go ahead and look at the income tab. 62 harvests to 50 in favor of Axeltoss. So Idra is definitely hurting in that respect. But look at those upgrades. It's so beautiful. 2-2 on the way, whereas Axeltoss is also getting 2-2. He's slightly behind, but Chrono Boost should be able to catch him up if he so chooses to Chrono Boost all of those out.
Yeah, this is really this is a really interesting game so far. I mean, we're at the 14-minute mark. Usually, you know, Idra would be maxed at this point in the game, but he's at 104 supply. But Axlev at the same time is at 87 supply. So both these players like harassing enough and just delaying each other's stuff, I guess is the best way to describe it. Of course, Axlev getting his third delayed, and then Axlev able to kill so many drones with those Phoenixes. Let's get the kill counts really quick. 7, 5, and this is gonna add up as the game goes along. So these Phoenixes definitely paying for themselves at this point in the game.
Oh yeah, they're being so annoying. Constantly supply capping his opponent. Obviously killing a lot of drones. It's just all around really, really good. And not only that, denying a lot of scout. I should say that. Denying a ton of scouting with those overlords. Obviously the overlords want to be in great positions, but they just cannot get there. In the meantime, it looks like +2 armor and 2 weapons are almost finished. Psionic Storm is being upgraded, and we do have Infestors coming out from Idra. So this might be the Idra might be just shooting himself in the foot at this point, because if we have High Templars out in the field, High Templar Zealot, it does deal with Zergling Infestor rather well, let me say that.
Yeah, you know, just a little, I mean, feedback is kind of good against those Infestors. And, you know, Storm against Lings, not too terrible. But there's a Fleet Beacon on the way here, Gretorp, so, you know, might see Mothership, might see some carrier action, but probably going to be a Mothership, wouldn't be too surprising. It is a little bit of an earlier Fleet Beacon than I've seen in the past, but Ling's getting into the main base. And the actual expansion of Axlev, a bunch of Infested Terrans going down as well. Is there an observer in the vicinity? There must be, because Phoenixes are able to lift those burrowed Infestors out of the ground. But the Infested Terrans, what are they going to target down here? The Nexus or the Probes? It looks like it's going to be the Zealots instead. But Idra doing a decent amount of harassment here, but losing a lot of Phoenixes, or a lot of Infestors, I should say.
Yeah, Axlev does not want to actually engage on all those Infested Terrans. He's just waiting, biding his time, so that when they actually do, you know, run out of that time, he will be able to actually start engaging. But still, this did massive, massive damage. Zerglings are streaming into the main. They've already ravaged the entire base, and there are no probes left. And Idra sees everything, so a very cost-efficient trade. Obviously, for Idra, he's going to go way ahead in this engagement.
Wow, really, really, really good harassment by Idra here, squeezing those Zerglings by into a gap. That's why, as a Protoss player, you have to make sure your wall is secure at all points in the game, because there's always that threat of a run by. And Axlev losing, you know, he's hurting right now. He's losing a lot of probes, down to 53. You know, not a terrible, like, he has a decent amount of probes. It's not like he's out of the game. Absolutely not like he's out of the game. But this Forge can't lose that Forge. It's that trying to research that +3 ground armor. There are some stalkers in the vicinity. Finally taking out the Zerglings. It's going to be close. Oh, it goes down. Huge mistake there by Axlev, losing stuff that he probably shouldn't be losing.
But a little thankful for Axlev, I guess. Idra actually ran like somewhere like 10 mutas into all the Phoenixes. They were all on move command.
No.
And every single one of them died. Like,
oh, wow.
There wasn't even a chance for them. So that's like an extra. It's like, oh, here, I just got way ahead. Let me donate 1,000 minerals and 1,000 gas to you. And,
wow.
You know, so Axlev still in a bad position, though. I do want to say. I mean, look at the supplies now: 158, 299, and he needs a good storm here. Nice storm!
Ooh.
Wow, beautiful.
That was a very good storm, but you know, Axlev returning the favor that the mutas sent from Idra. He just ran those Phoenixes into the Corruptors. So, you know, it is Valentine's week, so I guess sending each other gifts because they love each other.
Exactly.
But we all love each other.
The color of love. Axlev, not so much.
Mothership is on the way though for Axlev.
That's delicious, man.
It is.
I love motherships, especially you know, motherships are really good because they can obviously vortex and recall, and it allows your unit to actually just push out. Let's say your opponent is going for a counterattacking option. Your army is out in the middle of the field, actually a little bit in action going with these mutas. They're going to clean up these 2 cannons, but I don't think they should do much damage other than that. But what I was saying is, if you're attacking and your opponent is playing that reactive style of muta harass, where you know they see you attacking and they're going to go attack and kill one of your expansions, you can easily throw up the recall and kill an expansion and then just run away very easily. Storm should take care of this very easily.
Stormy's a middle line. Those probes.
That
did not. Yeah, that's, you don't want to do that. But yeah, that was like that wasn't good at all. But look at this. Idra is attacking to the third base. It looks like Axlev should have enough to defend there, but Morling's going in there. And Infested Terran's not able to take out much here. They did get stormed by those High Templars. So Axelav should reestablish, but look at the supplies right now. Idra up 177 to 104. Really providing a huge headache to Axelav right now.
Yeah. And, you know, that's what you really want to do. You want to commit those storms. Oh, God!
Oh!
Probes! And then the Nexus will go down. That's going to spell disaster for Axelav, of course. But that's the type of stuff you want to have happen. Obviously, your opponent is putting a lot of energy into those infestors and the infested Terrans particularly. So use your own energy. Don't use units. Use your own energy. Storm out the crap of those infested Terrans. Make sure they're not doing as much damage, because all he's really committing is time, not resources, to those.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great point. You always need to storm those infested Terrans. Oh, Pylon goes down. And I'm not going to say it, but the Muta is going to back up right here and looking for alternate avenues to attack. Actually splitting up his Mutas a little bit. Not a bad idea, considering there's the threat of Storm on the field. But more High Templars being warped in by Axelav. Mutas returning into the natural expansion of Axelav, targeting down some Storms. Really nice pick off there. Just going to back out of there. And it really feels like Idra is in complete control of this game.
Yeah, he's dominating his ex-teammate. Very unfortunate for him. Now there is that mothership that's out near the third. It's not really doing too much, but Idra, look at his economy. It's just absolutely insane. He's up to 4 bases, going to his 5th base, and when he's on that amount of gas, there's really no way that his opponent, Axelav, can come back into this, because Axelav is just dying right now for gas. His main is completely mined out. All of his probes are just idle over there. He only has 2 on his 1 gas over there. Kind of a shame. But yeah, Axelav is in a big pickle, and all he can really do is turtle.
Yeah, he needs money storms. The money vortex is going to go down. Yes, vortex does suck up all those mutas. The storm goes down onto the lings as well. And now he needs to make sure he kills every single one of these mutas that comes out of that vortex, at least to hope to get back into this game. Might try to storm, might just try to do it with blink stalkers or with the stalkers of his. And a storm does go down, putting a lot of those mutas in the orange, yellow, and red. But, oh, look at this. A run by into the main base with lings and mutas. A nice storm there from Axelav, though, dispelling a lot of those Earthlings. But look at Idra, just so annoying in this game.
Yeah, he's been so good with this. And this is actually a brand of Idra that I love to see. You know, he has kind of switched up. He used to be just a super macro, and I was just going to overpower your base. But lately, I shouldn't even say lately, he's been doing a brand of StarCraft that is just very, you know, aggressive oriented, and then he macros behind that, and I really like that style from him. I think it suits him a lot better. He's doing a ton of damage all over the place, but Axelav, it looks like he has started to stabilize. The question is, where does he go from here? I think it's going to be very difficult at this point to actually recover still. He does have obviously his 3rd base situated now, but as Idra's expansions grow in size, the army of his gets more and more expendable, and look at that. Oh my god, that's a lot of Broodlords.
It is a lot of Broodlords, that's a lot of Infestors, and this is the Zerg Death Ball that a lot of Zergs have been loving to use. And a lot of Protosses are like, alright, how do you beat this? You have to use a Mothership, you have to use a Vortex. But good news for Axelav, he does have that Mothership, but feedback's going on in the Infestors. Nice feedbacks there by Axelav, but it might be too little too late as the Lings and Mutas coming forward, as well as the Broodlords from Idra, just overpowering the ground army of Axelav. Axelav forced to retreat up into his little quadrant of the map, and no Vortex going down as the Mothership gets taken out of Gretorp, and that could be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that's going to be it. I mean, he has no answer for these Broodlords, and look at that. Idra's just going to park right outside his opponent's base. He doesn't even have to do anything. He's waiting for another round of reinforcing Zerglings and Broodlords. It looks like more Infestors as well. The High Templar count has diminished quite a bit, but there's the small blink. Normally I say big blink, but there's not a lot of stalkers there. And there it is. GG. So Axelav will fall. That puts the series at 1-1. I have to say, Idra looked really good that game. A little bit of scariness, I think, when he was supply cap consistently. Those pesky Phoenix just running around the place. But the denial of that 3rd base, or particularly Axelav's 3rd base, was probably the #1 thing that put him into this game. Well, put him ahead into that game. Killing all those sentries in the early game stage definitely helped out, and it just, you know, gave him that snowball effect that we've so many times seen from Idra's play.
Yeah, I mean, and all the Ling run-bys everywhere by Idra it was just amazing. I mean, he was just able to get by into the main base of Axelav And when there are Zerglings in your main base and most of your army is trying to protect your third, you're in a really awkward situation. They have to run a long way to go defend against that. Of course, you can warp in units, but Idra got a lot of Lings by. So really nice harassment style there by Idra. I don't know if it's just me. I don't usually see that in his games, at least in ZVP. He usually doesn't go for that muta play against Protoss, at least from what I've seen. I may be completely off base. Hopefully not, though.
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't been following his stream that much, so I haven't been able to see his current style, but I'm sure he's been practicing that. That has been more of the style in ZVP these days.
Oh,
so,
absolutely, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did switch over completely and he uses it in his arsenal. I wouldn't say completely. He does favor that ground army quite a bit. I've seen that in multiple tournaments. But definitely, I loved Idra's style that game, and I hope we see more of it. But that's going to do it. So 1-1 for these two teams. We're going to head into the next game after this break, and it'll be featuring, I do believe it's Artist and JYP. So definitely stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back after the break.